Hey world, it's being Willie. Coming back live today because I want to talk about something that I think is really, really important that I think a lot of people take for granted because it's one of those situations that what they call a silent killer. Okay. Um, the title was like stress doesn't kill you, right? It's the fear of death and medications that do it. And why do I say that? I mean, if you've been around and you've been around people that's been quote unquote stressed out, they'll tell you that the stress makes them sick, right? And see, the government, corporations, the pharmaceutical companies, they all know this, all right? Why do you think there's, chaos? They get ordered through chaos. If you look at the television, that's why I say only look at that to gain information. Don't look at it, to find out information. Because if you're finding out stuff on the television, then you're gonna be finding out a lot of stuff that can stress you out. All right. And I want to kind of get into the physiological aspects of stress and how it affects us. Because see, this is stuff that we don't really talk about, but it's something that's really relevant because I'm gonna connect stress with how the number of people that die every year from medical errors in hospitals. Like I told you before in our last video, over 200,000 people die a year from medical errors, medical malpractice, from hospitals, nursing homes, hospices, shelters. All right. And so you got to ask yourself, man, how does that happen? Well, because of the fear of death. Okay. See, when you fear death, then it's going to have you do things that you normally wouldn't do. It's going to have you take chances or have you risk your life because of the fear of death. All right. But if you understand, and it's so crazy because from a young age, we're taught, especially from a religious standpoint, you're taught as a kid that when you die, and that's how they try to alleviate the fear of death in children, and that's how they also use this particular concept I'm going to talk about as a way of instilling fear and discipline by telling kids, you better act right because if you die, when you die, you can go to heaven or you're going to go to hell. Act good, you're going to go to heaven. Act bad, you're going to go to hell. Well, right there, that tells you right there, there's no such thing as death, right? But as a kid, that stress is already incorporated in our subconscious, all right? And so now you're on a mimic reality because see, your individuality has been compromised because now you're afraid, okay, if I act this way, if I say these things, how's it going to be perceived? And I want to make sure that when I die, I go to heaven. Think about that. That's an oxymoron. When I die, I go to heaven. Or when I die, I go to hell. That's an oxymoron. You can't die and go somewhere. You did? And that alone tells you the connection between those that are Christians and Jesus and those that are, understood. Because if Jesus rose on the third day and went to heaven and we're all created by the same, then we all should know that we're going to also rise, right? And so right there, that should eliminate any stress you may have about your mortality. Okay, because we live on. Okay, at our lowest existence, we're energy. We're taught that. Electrons, neutrons, protons. Okay, and this is the type of information that I think should be, introduced in school, but it's half truth. And so when you understand that your mortality lasts forever, I mean, come on, man. There should never be any fear of death. But what happens when and I'm just going to take it from the fake celebrity standpoint or the fake actor standpoint, and then those that are, kind of dealing with these situations today. a person really ain't conscious of particular diseases or viruses until they get it. And I say that to say this, if you look at some of these fake actors on the television, they normally don't become a spokesman for a particular disease or virus until they get it. Okay? Or become a spokesman for a particular agenda unless they are part of it. And so that tells you right there that, we're all energy, and so any disease, any bacteria, any virus, parasites that the public or the pharmaceutical companies or the healthcare systems or the medical industry tell you to try to avoid by doing this or by doing that, they're misleading you, because all those particular things are in our bodies already. Look at what we eat. I mean, just this past weekend, or last weekend, on Memorial Weekend, there was what 70,000 pounds or 60,000 pounds of beef that was recalled because of salmonella, and that's what they call it. And so that tells you that people are eating these type of bad food. And if you eat pork, we know that pigs have the most complicated bacteria-laden digestive system. That's why you have to make sure pork is really, really cooked. And they tell you that eliminates all the diseases, all the parasites, but it don't. I mean, pigs have, this trichinosis type of parasites. And so it's never, they don't end. I mean, even if you cook it, that's why you shouldn't eat pork. I'm not telling you what you should do, but I mean, if you're going to be health conscious, you will kind of look into this type of information. It's not an accident that the United States have the highest number of cancer and patients in America. Okay. And so back to what I was saying. Yeah, infinite love. What's up? Miller's perspective, no doubt. Michael J. Fox is one of the ones I speak of. I mean, he was doing all those shows, Family Ties and all of that. I never heard him say anything about Parkinson's disease until he actually got it. You did? And so, but what people don't understand is that all these diseases and whatnot are already inside of us. Look at what we eat. Look at what we breathe. Look at what we put on our skin. See, our skin is semi-permeable. So, but once you know that this body container is just only one aspect of our existence, it's our physicality. But we also have a spirituality side. That's why you can't explain your dreams. That's why you can't see the person that speaks with you in your mind. That's why you can't describe that feeling in your stomach when you have butterflies, because that's the spiritual side of us. And like I said, our lowest existence, we're energy. So it's the fear of death that causes people to run to the doctor, okay, and add medicines to their bodies that's going to actually kill them. But why do I say this, family? When you get sick, right, your body tells you you're sick, right? But the thing that you need to understand that the way we're going to heal ourselves is through changing our diet, right? That's the biggest way to do it, right? Meditation, okay? And then alleviating all stress. See, because what happens when a doctor tells you you have a certain illness or whatever, then then you get stressed out. See, the stress, what the stress does, it actually produces what they call stress hormones, okay? Your adrenal glands releases stress hormones. And when they release these stress hormones, they get into your blood system, into your cells. And what do we do when your adrenal glands? What do your adrenal glands do? That's your fight or flight, okay? And so when you're stressed out, stress hormones release. And next thing you know, okay, you have blood cells, healthy cells moving away from the areas that's needed, which is your visceral area. And it's moving out to your arms and legs. And so now you're even more stressed out because now your immune system is affected by it. Why do you think when certain people get stressed out, if you ever look at someone who gets stressed over a relationship, stressed over a job, they lose weight, they get sick, it affects them physically, okay? So when you go to the doctor and they tell you have a certain illness, Well, the thing to do is not to make the situation worse by taking drugs. Okay? See, why are you taking drugs? Because of fear of death. And these pharmaceutical companies don't care about you. Hey, Val, what's up? They don't care about you. You did? And why do I say don't care about you? Guys, remember, it's not by accident that the television always tell you the most horrendous, horrific stories. You rarely get good, heartwarming stories that can make you feel good. When you get home from work and you sit down watching the news and you're seeing all good, heartwarming stories. No, you're always seeing these crazy, horrific stories that subconsciously raise your stress level. Amber Alerts is raise your stress level. Okay? And so when your stress level is raised, your immune system breaks down. And if you already have an illness, and if you're taking medication, it's going to make you worse. Pharmaceutical companies know that. Why do you think after 9/11, guys? After 9/11, pharmaceutical companies' profits increased 20% every year. And in 5 years, they increased their profit by 100%. Why? Because they know that if we just increase the stress levels on the general public, have them concerned about sports, have them concerned about celebrities' personal problems or personal issues. Why are we concerned, or why does it even matter if someone gets a divorce? Okay, let me make sure my music's not too loud. Okay, that's unnecessary stress. There you go, nephew. KY, what it do? What it do? That's some real stuff. That's some real stuff. You run into the doctor and then when the doctor tells you have cancer, and see, family, this is what trips me out. How afraid of death do you have to be to run to the doctor and they tell you have cancer and they give you chemical therapy? And after chemical therapy, your hair fall out. You become sick. Your digestive system it takes you weeks to recover from that. Why? Because remember, the adrenal gland had already told your healthy cells to release because you stress. And once your adrenal gland release that stress hormone, all your healthy cells, they move into your arms and legs. They're moving away from this area. Okay? Because one, chemotherapy is going to kill not only your healthy cells, not only the cancer cells, but healthy cells. All right? And then two, think about it. Why do you think that when someone gets shot or stabbed, okay, the blood, okay, runs from your arms and your legs and tries to get back up to your heart and lungs and everything because it knows that's where it's needed. That's why this body is such a beautiful creation. That's why man has never, ever been able to duplicate it. You can test tube animals, you can crossbreed animals, but this body, what the Most High created, is you cannot duplicate it. Okay? Try to stop breathing by yourself and see what happens. You did? Okay? So it's like the body tells us things that you don't even know and you can't even control. They'll call it involuntary, but that ain't involuntary, that's spiritual. So how you gonna be scared? Okay? You know that there's no such thing as death. They tell you that as a kid, heaven and hell. You know that as a kid. So why be afraid? All right? And that's why when you know this, if you get sick, the first thing you do should be run to the doctor, assess the situation. Okay, let me change my diet. Okay? Let me start drinking more water. You did? And so it's just kind of one of those situations, family, because these pharmaceutical companies, they depend on your weakness. Okay? I mean, they depend on it. And they depend on your ignorance. They want you to not know that 200,000 people die every year in the hospital from medical errors. Or at any given time, 98,000 people would die in the hospital. They don't want you to know those numbers. But guess what? They put them out there. See, all the facts are hidden in plain sight. But if you're not conscious of that, then you're not going to worry about that. And so I just think it's interesting because, see, when it comes down to it, it's all about dollars. They don't care about you. Okay? I mean, they can get, in 5 years, get 100%, make 100% more profit from selling pharmaceutical drugs. But back, I think not even 3 years ago, 4 years ago, there's this young cat named Mark Shkreli, I think. I don't know, you may have heard him in the news. He got arrested. He's in federal prison right now. Now, he's not in prison for what the television accused him of, because, see, he took an AIDS drug that was helping babies and helping people with AIDS. And it was costing like $17 or $20. And it went from $17 to $750 a pill. And he wasn't even tripping on it, because his mindset was, why y'all, the pharmaceutical companies do it, the big ones. But he got arrested for that. He's in prison right now. But he's not in prison for, and that's the crazy thing about it. He's not in prison for raising the price of that drug to $750 a pill when it was just $17. That's not what he's in prison for. He's in prison for what they call a Ponzi scheme, a security exchange charge, where he had this pharmaceutical company and he was taking the monies that he made from that company to pay investors and wasn't reporting it. What every company in America do. But see, like I say, it's all about who you know. See, these pharmaceutical companies, they depend on you to be ignorant. You can heal yourself, alleviate stress, understand there's no such thing as death, meditate, eat right, watch how different your body feels. No doubt, Millers, no doubt. Ain't no money in healing. Exactly, KY. And it's in Leviticus. And that's why I was like, it trips me out that we're not even conscious. It just, you run to the doctor, you're taking medications, and these same medications tell you that they have side effects. Oh, what happened? Am I buffering, family? I think I just buffered just a minute ago. Am I good out there, family? Okay. So, family, that's what I want to do. I want to come back with that and let you know that if you alleviate stress, eliminate stress, any disease or illness or virus that you may have can be healed internally. Facts. Okay. I mean, you think it's an accident that they try to devalue and minimize Dr. Sebi's approach to good health, right? I mean, he said he could cure AIDS, he can cure all these diseases. That wasn't, to me, that wasn't a far-fetched notion, because if you're eating properly and if you understand that your gut is the second brain, then of course that can happen. There's been a lot of cases, they just don't talk about that, where people heal themselves, right? And it comes from meditation. It comes from raising your chakras. It's coming from no stress, okay? So if I just want to come back with a quick video about that, because, a lot of times we don't really kind of understand and focus on that. We quick to run to the doctors. And remember, the chemicals kill us, okay? The only way your immune system is going to be healthy, if you take care of your immune system and make sure your healthy cells duplicate and multiply. Okay, billions of cells die every day. We do not stop growing from 0 to 100. We don't stop growing. And what I mean by growing, our cells. We can continue to produce healthy cells with a healthy diet. All right. Yeah, that was me, KY. And what's so crazy about it? There they go. They trying to get us on the 5G, man. I guess they want me to call them and complain about my buffering so I can pay for 5G. That's what what they call Stockholm syndrome. I don't fall for that. Okay. So if I just want to come back with that one. And like I said, what's the best medicine is whiskey. Whiskey and Robitussin. That's old school right there, brother. That's old school, man. My grandmother used to give me that, you know, that what they call that hot toddy. You know what I mean? That's crazy. So family, make sure you keep your body balanced, right? Keep your body balanced, and you know, like I said, ain't what you eat or drink is what you do in moderation. But I can tell you this: that pork, that beef, you know, you gotta do you, but you know, pork definitely is out for me. I don't eat that crap. You know, beef every now and again, but I make sure that there's no blood in the animal when I eat it. Oh man, I think they tripping. They tripping. I'm out. Yeah, I think I'm buffering, family. Well, I'm gonna come back tonight. In the meantime, between time, family, in the Most High inside to bring you joy. Remember, alleviate that stress. Stress don't kill you. Okay, the fear of death does. All right, and we don't die, we multiply. Robert Harris, rest in love. And being with is out of 5,000. And I done pushed the button. I'm still on. Yep, they tripping. Huh? Man, what's... Are you serious? I'm wow. Man, I thought I was out, family. Wow. I'm still on. Hey, it must, you know what? It must be meant to be. I'm trying to get out the garden, family. That's why I'm... Huh? Wait a minute. What's going on right here? Come on, family. Hold up. I'm buffering, huh? Real talk. Come on, family. Do me like that. I'm still on. Wow. Hey, I'm on the other side. I'm still on. Wow. I thought I was off, family. Yeah, they tripping. No, they tripping. Wow. That's crazy. See, I'm stuck right there. No, I gotta get out of here. This is crazy. Huh? Wow, wow. Oh, wow. I guess I'm back home, huh? You know what I mean? I'm back on. Wow. Now see what they, you know what they did just now, right? I know I ended the live stream, I think it was like at 24, 23 and some change. And I'm pushing buttons, right? End stream, push the button, right? And then all of a sudden, it flipped back on. And then it flipped back off. And then it flipped back on. That's that 5G. You right, nephew. That's that 5G messing with me, man. They're going to try to get me back. But guess what? Hold up. I'm going to go ahead and stay on then. I'm going to go ahead and stay on. Okay? I'm going to come back with a little investment information now. I'm going to come back with some stock market information now. Family, I'm going to put my tools back on. Wow. Something. Okay. Hold on right quick, family. If you've seen the stock market, what the Dow Jones did, Dow Jones is up almost 70 points. Yesterday it was down over 300 points. What does that tell you? You know what I mean? That's volatility, man. So I wouldn't even touch that stock market if I was you right now, unless you're dealing with cannabis stocks in Canada or a different sector, But I wouldn't touch the stock market right now, especially with everything that's going on, man. I would just stack your chips, pay yourself first, and just get ready to, because it's up 70 points, it's in the green today. That ain't how that's supposed to go, And so hold tight on that. I was tripping because we were talking about, yeah, no doubt. Check that out, KY, because now if you do that, like I say, they got the notes and the bills, those are the shorter terms, right? But the treasury bonds, those are like, say, 2-year, 5-year, and 10-year. But you can get treasury notes and treasury bills, for shorter maturation dates. No, for the U.S. Treasuries, man, you can go to Fidelity, Charles Schwab, you can go to any financial institution for the check your credit union, because you may get them through your credit union as well. But you can go to any financial institution to get invest in some U.S. Treasury notes. Yeah, a lot of time people purchase those and put them in their banks. Okay, but for the insurance companies, those are annuities. And family, please look into those annuities, man. I mean, you have a lot of those have minimal amounts you have to have. Like they have $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 minimums. $1,000 minimums. But remember, annuity is something that you're gonna contribute to as well. So that's kind of like a different source of income over the years once you retire. So you have like an IRA, have an annuity, you have some index fund, you have some stock, you know what I mean? You may have a little, may have a little, but like I say, you may have a little gold if that's your thing. But like I'm not a commodities, I'm not a precious metals type of person, because if it's not liquid when I need it, that doesn't, but I'm not frowning upon it. Don't get it twisted, because if you can time it where I don't like nobody telling me that gold is worth $1,200 a day, and then gold is worth $1,500 in 2 months or 3 months from now, because that don't make sense to me. I mean, you can tell me that when it's with a stock market, you know what I'm saying? Because I can look at your balance sheets, and I can look at your profit loss statements and your financial statements to find out why your stock prices are rising or why your stock prices are lowering. You know what I'm saying? I can check your quarterly reports. You know what I'm saying? But with gold, I don't know who's doing that. And so that's why I say I don't frown on gold, but I like to, I like to alleviate stress. I mean, alleviate stress as well as risk. Okay. Thank you, Dion. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And like I say, so pay yourself first, family. And I wanted to, like I have a couple of my students that were from Venezuela. And of course, as a teacher, I wanted to let them know, they asked, man, coach, you heard about what's going on in Venezuela? Yeah, of course, And so now it's really bad, because what do they have in Venezuela? The Dow Credit Union, but see that, no, you're gonna have to get shares through a actual brokerage firm, i.e. Fidelity, Ally, Robinhood, Charles Schwab, E-Trade. Those are brokerage institutions that if you want to buy shares of stock, that's where you buy it from. You can't buy shares of stock through a credit union. Now, what you can get through a credit union, check to see if your credit union have which they should have, an IRA. Okay, and I think having an IRA through your credit union is a pretty smart move, because credit unions are a lot safer than regular banks. Okay, and if the credit union offers an IRA, then of course that way you can actually just have your monies coming from your checking account or your savings account transferred directly over to an IRA. And like I said, if you're under 50 years old, you can contribute $5,500 a year to that, which that money earns interest, and, you can actually, it's going to earn interest. But I like to have my IRA with brokerage funds so I can, but invest that money, in stocks and bonds. Okay. So, but yeah, fam, that's all I want to talk about. And when I talk about Venezuela, let me get back to that subject. Man, I feel bad because I was a big fan of Hugo Chavez, but I know they're all in cahoots, right? But I like Hugo Chavez because he reminded me a lot of the president of Iran, Ahmadinejad, because they call it like they see it, and the things that they were talking about, they were considered anti-Semitic. Now, I'm not saying I agree with everything they talked about, but I respected the fact that they was able to say what a lot of people didn't say. They was like, no, the United States are going into areas and taking over. Afghanistan and Iraq, they were saying the same thing. But see, little did Venezuela knew that they were on the list as well as Iran. And so now, who's in dire straits right now? And who's on the radar? Iran is on the radar, right? And Venezuela, wow, look what they're doing in Venezuela. What do they have in Venezuela? They have a central bank, okay? What is a central bank supposed to do? It's supposed to, keep well, right now in Venezuela, we have what, 1.6, 1.7% inflation? Venezuela is at 130,000% inflation. Okay. If you watched my last live, I talked about how GDP, the gross domestic product, is very important for its country's economic growth. Well, Venezuela has a 52% decrease in their GDP. The people, how is it that we can help everybody else, but not help Venezuela? Okay, which is one of the richest oil reserves in the world. You're trying to tell me that the United States can't say, hey, you know what? Yeah, these people are struggling. Let's remove the sanctions. Okay, let's go ahead and help these people, because these people are starving over there, right? Because they know what they're supposed to do, and that's why they went to Afghanistan and went to Syria, because they said Syrian president, my man, was gassing his own people, so they had to go over there and see what was up. Why are they not doing anything with Venezuela? That's unfortunate. Okay, I mean, Venezuela, and it has a central bank. Guys, we have a central bank. The Federal Reserve is the United States Central Bank, which regulates our economy. Okay, now how is it that the Central Bank of Venezuela couldn't stop this from happening? Exactly. So much love go out to the Venezuelan, people, because they are Afro-melanated Venezuelans out there. You did? And they don't talk about that. Just like they don't talk about the Afro-melanated Mexicans in Mexico. Okay. And it's mighty ironic that, speaking of Mexico, there is this sense of racism between Mexicans and Afro-melanated. I know that I lived in Corpus, and it tripped me out. And I couldn't believe it, because I'm thinking, growing up in North Texas and Vernon, Texas, We had the Rodriguez's and the Martinez and the Garcias that lived in the bottoms with us. And we all got along. You did? But the animosity. And it tripped me out when I noticed it when I went to lived in Corpus. And I was amazed. Because if you go to Mexico right now and you try to do a census on ethnicity, they can't even do a census because so many people in Mexico have Afro-melanation, or let's just keep it 1,000, have black in their family. Okay? So, history is important. It's not an accident that Mexico once gained its independence from Spain in 1821 and then became its own country. It's not an accident that in the 1830s when the United States citizens and the white people started coming to Texas. At that time, it was called Coahuila y Tejas because it was part of Mexico. It's not an accident that Mexico said, we don't mind you guys coming down here, but don't bring slaves. You did? So why would Mexico, a country, didn't believe in slavery, would not prohibit slavery? Okay? Why was that one of the main criteria? Why was one of the main rules? Right? Because if you go to Mexico right now, it's not an accident. We all together, baby. Ain't no such thing as race. Okay? So, all right, fam, I'm going to get on up out of here. Try to get out of this time. But in the meantime, between time, fam, may the Most High Society bring you joy. And being willing, going to try to be out of 5,000. Let me see how I go. Uh-oh. Yeah, 5G, they trying to get me, man. Let me see. Wow. That's interesting.